Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This week's top 10 list is a list that, well, is kind of difficult to put together because it's kind of difficult to come up with. This is my top 10 notes that when I bought them, I had no idea what I was going to buy. I either went to shows or went to shops and had no idea what to expect. Had a little bit of money in my pocket, and I could not leave unless I had these notes with me. So, I did not intend to go out and hunt down these notes. These are notes I simply saw at the time and had to buy. What would you call those? Spontaneous purchases, maybe? All right. Anyway, some of these are some biggies. So, I mean, like I said, sometimes when you just have some money burning a hole in your pocket, you got to pick up something. And, well, there was a lot of money burnt on these. All right, number 10. I went into the my LCS and he had this particular note sitting there and I had to pull the trigger. I did not have a $500 note at the time and I've seen them in the past and I considered getting them, but with this particular note, you can see light green seal. So that was the deciding factor to get me to pull the trigger. My 1934 $500 Federal Reserve note is graded at a 30, and if you look, it does have a pretty harsh crease here, and it does have a lighter vertical that way as well. Taking a look at the back, overall it's in good shape. I mean, like I said, being a 30, that's a good one. The price is always fun too. I think I paid I think I got this for 970. I think 960, 970, something like that. Prices have changed since I've picked it up, that's for sure. Anyway, that's number 10 on the list, my $500 light green seal. Number 9, I went to a show in Vegas, and when I was in Vegas, I had to get something just to mark my time in Vegas. And I found a $500 Confederate States of America note. This one also being graded, and at the time, I wasn't 100% on my Confederate notes, whether or not they were real. Since then, I've learned quite a bit and can pick out the fakes right away. But anyway, at the time I was rather unsure, so I knew I wanted to get a $500 note, but I wanted to make sure I got one that was graded just to make sure that I didn't get a fake. So this one being graded, yeah, I did overpay for it a little bit. $510 for a 15 is a little high. But like I said, I saw it, it was graded. Most of the ones I see weren't graded. So this particular one I jumped on just to make sure that I had one. Nothing on the back of this one. It does say stained. You can see the stain over here. So that's number 9, my $500 1864 Confederate States of America, my T64. Number 8, I went to a antique store that was closing, and they had something there that said all items are half price. And I immediately went to the coin and currency section and found out that no, those items were not half price. The thing is, the notes and coins were so outrageously priced that when I confronted them with the actual value of the notes, um, it ended up being less than half price. So I got this for half, less than half of what it was. And actually, I think this particular one was a throw in on the deal. This is my $2 1899 silver certificate. Now, it does have the standard torn corner that you see on most older $2 notes. I shouldn't say most, you see that on a lot of them. The torn corner represents people trying to get rid of bad luck. $2 notes were considered unlucky, and the way that you would break that unluckiness is to tear a corner off. Then you would spend it, and the next person would tear a corner, and they would spend it. And once all 4 corners got tore off, that would break the unlucky spell. That's why you see so many torn corners. Anyway, this one does feature George Washington. This is called the mini porthole. It does have the bright $2 digit over here, bright blue $2 digit. I think that's really cool. The blue seal, of course, indicates silver certificate. Looking at the back, you can see this one did have a little bit of a date mark right there. And of course, lots of dirt, lots of folds. But as a throw-in, yeah, I was quite happy to get this as a throw-in. Like I said, not really looking to purchase it at the time. Certainly glad I did. And for a throw-in price, well, that was just awesome. So that one is number 8. Number 7. I was scrolling through eBay and I spotted this one. And this is a $5 legal tender. And I think you can make that out on top. It's 5 United States of America. $5 legal tender. This was from 1862. This is part of the first issue notes. And it's got Spinner's signature, sort of. It's kind of cut out right there. Now, this particular note wasn't in the greatest of condition. The thing is that when these are in decent condition, they are rather pricey. And when I purchased this, I didn't really want to be forking out that kind of money. So rather than just having an empty space, I picked up one that was in a little bit lesser condition for what I considered a good price. That's how I ended up with this note, and to me, it's much better to be able to hold a note in your hand and talk about it rather than show a picture of the note in the book. That's why I tend to pick up notes sometimes that are in a little bit lesser condition. That is number 7, the 1862, you can see right here, 1862 $5 legal tender. All right, 10987, number 6. This is my Con to Con Black Eagle. $18.99, $1 silver certificate. I answered an ad in the paper that said, bring your antiques, your collectibles, your old coins, your old banknotes, baseball cards, whatever. Bring it to this hotel and we're going to be buying, our buyers are going to be there and offering top dollar. I see that all the time. And to me, I always feel that that's a scam because most people don't know what they have. So these guys are generally looking to buy stuff really cheap. It's their way of trying to restock their shelves with inventory. Take a look at the back. This one here is in really nice shape. Now, when I went there, I brought a bunch of my stuff. And they, of course, would not make an offer because they knew that I knew what my stuff was worth. So I turned the tables on them. And I asked, have you picked up anything today that you'd be willing to let go? And they showed me this note, and at the time it was ungraded. And he told me that he bought this for $60 and he'd sell it to me for $65 just so he could show a little bit of a profit. So I scooped it up in a heartbeat. And yeah, like I said, going there, I had no intention of buying this note. But for $65, how can you not? Even when you add in my $45 worth of grading fees, that puts me at $110, and this note in this condition, probably well over the $200 mark. So yeah, that was a good score for me. And that was number, what did I say, 6, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, yes. Number 5. Number 5, I got this note from the coin shop closest to my house. He, at the time, had no banknotes on display at all. So when I asked him about banknotes, he pulled out a box, and in this little box, it was, half a box. It was like a box that you would get a 12-pack of soda in. And in there, he just had all kinds of different notes, and this was one of the notes that was in there. And of course, it had been in there for a while. I think he might have had it priced at, $300 or $400, something to that effect. So I had to scoop this one up, knowing what it is. What is this? This is a second series of the $20 brownbacks, one of the national currency notes. The second charter period, you can see here, it's got the charter number right here on the back, really cool. And it wasn't graded, so knowing that I got this for such a steal, ended up sending it out for grading, and it came back at 20. So yeah, once again, didn't intend on buying it, but once I saw it there, couldn't really say no to it, so it came home with me. That is number 5, my 1882 $20 brownback. Number 4, when I was in Illinois at a coin shop, this was the second time I saw this particular note. Not this exact note, but I went into the shop, and the first time I saw one of these, and I said, maybe I'll get it later, and came back the next week, and it was gone. When this note surfaced in the shop. As soon as I saw it, I had to pick it up just because I knew how difficult it was to find one of these in decent shape. Yes, I know it's got the stain there, a little bit of a stain over here as well. But as soon as I saw it, I had to get it because I knew I wouldn't see another one for a while in a card shop or a coin shop. It does have the mark as stained. I picked this note up raw. I shipped it out and got it graded myself. And it came back at 30, which was just a huge surprise. I think I picked this up for like 300, maybe 325. And with this grade, it's well into 4 digits, even with the stain. So yeah, another note that I did not expect to be coming home with on the day of purchase. That is number 4. Number 3, the same coin shop. When I went in there one particular morning, he said we just got in a bunch of notes. We just bought out a huge collection. And he was showing me some of the stuff. And I spotted a graded note in a box. And I said, "What's that?" And he pulled it out of the box and brought it over. And it was this. This is an 1862 $1 legal tender. And it was already graded. And I asked about the story on this because I didn't know it. And he says, yeah, this is the very first $1 bill ever made. 1862 $1 legal tender. That's the first $1 bill. And I said, well, I have to have it. How much? He told me, and I scooped it up. So once again, another note. Had no intention of buying, had no intention that it even existed when I first saw it, and had to make it part of my collection. That one is, let's take a peek at the back of this one. You can see it got EPQ. He had it at $13.50. I might have got it for $9, maybe $1,000. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I've got it written down somewhere. Anyway, I had to have this one, especially in that particular grade. 35 EPQ that's a good one. So that one is number 3. Number 2. After I got my $500 note, my local coin shop got in 3 of these, 3 $1,000 notes. And the fact that they had 3 of them, well, I certainly had to get one, and I was able to get this one. I think at the time I paid $1,700 for this particular one. And yeah, went in just to see what was new. This is what was new. And I didn't really, yeah, he has $1,675. I think I had $1,600 total is what I had paid on this one. And like I said, did not expect to find this particular note. I was just going in to see what was new. Didn't really want to be spending $1,600 at the time, but happened to have my bankroll on me. So I picked this one up. And if I remember right, I had to run back home and get more money. And I think I ended up paying him, $400 in singles when I picked this up, as well as hundreds. But I'm pretty sure $400 were singles, and I might have even had half a strap of 5s. I know I paid him in a bunch of small bills, but at the time the bank was closing. Maybe it was a Saturday that I got it because the banks were already closed. But yeah, that's how I ended up getting my $1,000 bill. So that one is number 2. And number 1 on my list of notes that I did not plan on buying at the time. This is the very first note I ever bought. I went to the coin shop looking to buy an ounce of gold. That was the goal, to get 1 ounce of gold. And while I was there looking at the different 1 ounce pieces, this was just screaming at me on the shelf. I saw it. I had to check it out. I was just amazed by it. And you guys know this is the note that got me started into collecting. So yeah, went there for an ounce of gold, walked out with an ounce of gold and a $20 gold certificate, my 1922 gold certificate. This note is interesting just because the front of the note looks so good, and the back of the note, I don't want to say looks so bad, but definitely has the creases in there, definitely shows the dirt, but the front of the note, really good. They gave it a 25 when I sent it in for grading. It does have 2 little pinholes right up in here, 2 staple holes there. I don't care. This was enough to get me interested in the hobby, and the note that got it all started. So those are my top 10 notes that I bought without knowing what I was going to be coming home with. They were surprises to me. I saw them, and I had to bring them home. If you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.